Hello everyone, this is I am Sagar Shah, and today we are going to analyze the third round encounter between Aronian with white against Vladimir Kramnik from the third round of the candidates 2018. Today you cannot see me in the video because I want to show you the full screen of the ChessBase 14 software where we are going to analyze this game, and I'm going to prove it to you that more than this being some amazing preparation by Kramnik and Anish Giri, this was quite careless bit of work by Aronian. So let me come to the point straight away by what I mean. The game began with e4 by Aronian, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. We had the Berlin here, and then the anti-Berlin, bishop c5, bishop into c6, d into c6, and castles, queen e7. It's not the most popular line as such, but it has been played before, and now came the move h3, and we come to this important point in the game where Kramnik sort of stunned the world with the move rook to g8. It looks completely unbelievable. If you're playing online, it could be understood that you wanted to castle short and actually got your rook on g8 instead of the king. But turns out that this is a very logical move, because the pawn is on h3. You want to play g5, g4 and use it as a hook to open the king side, and the attack really runs very quickly. Now, why do I think that rook g8 is not an amazing move is because let's first of all look at the reference tab. Now when you click on reference, it's basically searching all the games in Mega Database 2018. So this is supposed to be one of the most important databases where you can search things, and as you see, no games have been found. So basically rook g8 is a complete novelty. If you just go a move back over here, then you will see that this position has actually arisen 8 times, and it has been very surprisingly played by 9 times, and India's youngster Ronak Sadhwani has played it with white twice, very surprisingly, and h6 was played by black, castle, bd7, bd6, knight d7, but no one has been able to play rook g8, which is surprising because even Postny has played here, Racek, all good players. Now if I just turn on my engine first of all, which is let's say Stockfish 9, and I give it some bit of time. First of all, I'm going to close this for the time being, just so that you're not surprised. But okay, let me just show you let's check first. If you look at the let's check, it immediately shows rook g8 as a good move, and even Stockfish 9 within 10 seconds comes up with the move rook g8 over here, showing a very slight edge for black. So if you think about it, I think if Aronian went for this line and he did check it with the engine, it's very surprising as to why he didn't find this move. Another thing is, if you just go to the live database over here, you will see that this position 4 times rook g8 has been played, and this is 4 games are not over the board games, as if you open them, they are played in correspondence chess over here, ICCF. Even this one is by ICCF. So if you have the live database as well, you will see that 4 games had already continued with the move rook g8. So once again, not a novelty. I have been using the word surprised many times in this video, but truth be told, I think it is truly very surprising that Aronian has not been able to find this move rook g8, because after this his reaction was normal, king h1, but I think black is already much better, so I don't think there is any way that white can get out of this. c3 I thought was the most logical move, because you want to play d4, and if a move like rook g8 is played, you want to break in the center. So g5 is a very interesting move. I think that knight h5 can transpose to the game overall, but okay, the king is on g1, not on h1. So g5 is interesting, because now d4 is possible. I think bishop into g5 doesn't really work because of bishop h3 coming up here, gh3 and h6 when you get back the piece with a good position, and d4 is met with ed, cd, bishop b6. Once again, bishop into g5 is met with bishop into h3, and I was checking further that a move like e5 just loses to bishop into g2, a very strong move. So yeah, d4 doesn't work. If you play knight into e5, g4 is once again very strong. You're just trying to go g into h3, mate him, d4, g into h3 is just better for black. Rook into g2 is coming up. So after rook g8, Aronian played king h1, now knight h5. This is also interesting move. g5 didn't make much sense now, because after bishop into g5 there is no bishop h3. As you can see, the king has moved from g1. This was Aronian's idea, but knight h5 is a nice move, and after c3 g5 came in, and d4, by the way, is met with ed, cd and bishop b6. The pawns in the center with d4, e4 look very nice, but those two bishops over here and the pawn coming to g4 is just too strong. I think it's already a winning attack. g5 was played, knight into e5. Aronian figured that he must do something, but g4 came in, and the nice thing is that bishop knight into g4 doesn't work because of bishop g4, hg4, queen h4 check, and this one is worth putting it into the textbooks, knight g3 with a forced mate on h1. So g4, d4 was played by Levon, but bishop d6, everything is under control for black. You can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 of his pieces are attacking, which is quite unbelievable in the opening from the black side. g3, bishop into e5, d e5, queen e5. So he's recovered the pawn and his attack is still strong. G into h3 is a threat. Queen d4, of course you don't exchange the queens. And now here after c5, white could play it better with the move queen d3, but he went queen c4, giving a tempo to black. I think by now Aronian was completely shaken up. Queen b5, c6, queen a4, f5. There's no need to castle long, you can just blast through f5. E into f5 would most certainly lose because of knight g3, fg3, bd5. Queen is coming to e2 with a forced mate. So f5, bishop g5, and of course the exchange sack came in. Rook into g5, hg5, f4, and you can see, although white is materially up, he's completely lost positionally. All of black's pieces are beautifully placed for the attack. Queen d1, rook d8, queen c1, fg, knight a3. Trying to develop makes no real sense. Rook to d3, rook d1, and now this final move, bishop d5, seals the deal, because queen into e4 is coming, and if you take this, queen e4 should win, and if you take here, still queen e4 is very powerful. So he played f3, gf. It's just move 25, but you already have 2 pawns on the 6th rank. Queen e2, rook e1. Now he pinned the queen, to the king, but after g2 he resigned because king g1 will be met with f2 and king h2 will be met with g1 queen, king into g1 and f2 with a winning position. So all in all, it was a great game. I think Kramnik deserves the applause, but Aronian should definitely have been better prepared. I think for the stature of this event, such an important game, this was a very crucial victory, and also losing a game with the white pieces in just the third round can really hit Aronian's confidence. You know, he is one of the favorites here, but after this game it really starts to look dicey for him. Kramnik on the other hand, 2.5 on 3. Everyone's saying that Kramnik is the guy to watch out for. In fact, one of my friends messaged me saying it's not Kramnik, it's Kramnish who has to be you know, taken care of, because it's a deadly team of Kramnik and Anish Giri. So let's see how this tournament goes for the former world champion, and whether or not Aronian can make a comeback will be very interesting to see.